Let's go. Another episode.
Yeah, where we
Another.
at? Where we at? 53?
On our way to Centurions.
On at least we will get there.
Right, right.
At least I don't know if we can say the same about a
Yeah,
Chelsea Chelsea
just
FC.
come out. Yeah, just come out and say it, man.
Here I thought I was gonna name the episode title Arnie Slide for the slide downhill. You know,
Mm.
it might also be Enzo Slide because what the fuck type performance was that, bro?
Ah, two mistakes,
Mm.
right? Two mistakes, and it cost us. Um, right. Beyond that, right? I don't have much to say. It's just the teams know how to play us, right? The long balls. We haven't adjusted to that, but I'm not trying to make excuses here. Uh,
So you're not trying to be like Arnie Slide?
no, 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 no.
Mm. Mm.
Damn, Arnie slide. Yeah, that's. I honestly feel like we should send them these episodes, just to rile him up. Cause
Listen, there's nothing to rile up. He riles himself up. He sits
mm,
in post-match pressers, pre-match pressers saying that he knows this. He's trying to like talk about his tactical intuition. My friend, Mr. Egghead, Sean Dyche has better tactical intuition than you do. So don't get anything twisted here. You
wait,
did
Sean Dyke as in
the
things
Sean Dyche.
the
Yes.
current manager of
Boris, the previous manager of Everton, the previous manager of Burnley, those Burnley teams that would be in the Premier League having zero business with zero funding, and you would keep them up every single year. Yeah, so that's Sean Dyche.
mm,
This man got handed everything on a silver platter last year, and he just ate off the bowl. And now he's realizing it's not that easy to get that silver platter back, you know?
so what are you saying? He's finished for the season?
For the season, it's still up in the air. They have a few tough matchups coming up that's gonna really determine what happens. But there is a lot of talk in the background that the board is very concerned with the performances. The results are one thing, but it's also the performances, right? This Wednesday they face Crystal Palace, which we'll chat about a little bit later in the pod in the EFL Cup. Then they got Aston Villa, then Real Madrid, and then Man City prior to the international break.
Mm.
So who knows? Yes, I understand that they won against Eintracht Frankfurt, but in the league, they haven't won. Their last win was, when was their last win? Their last win was the Merseyside Derby in September.
Mm.
We're in November.
So I mean,
Or sorry, we are going to be in November. So the month of October, he didn't win in the Prem.
mm, yeah, no, it's a fair assessment. So I mean, what do you think he needs to do to change things around?
To be honest with you, I hope this lasts as long as possible. But if I'm being objective and I'm trying to think about it as a football fan
Mm.
and looking at it like as an outsider, not looking at it from Arsenal lens, I think he needs to start making some ruthless decisions like the one that he made at Eintracht Frankfurt. I think he needs to go to the 4-4-2. I don't think Kirkes should see the pitch unless it's an EFL Cup game or an FA Cup draw until he gets his confidence back. I think you need to play Connor Bradley and give him a run of games so that you can just secure the back line. Stop doing this nonsense trying to think that like Frimpong can play right back and Kirkes can play left back. It's clearly not working.
Mm.
You need to just eat it. Spend half a bill. Right now, 50% of that half a bill isn't working. Midfield, just need to play solid, play McAllister, play Gravenberch, play Szoboszlai, and then your front three, you got to go with Gakpo. Um, Ekitike, in my opinion, is undroppable, and then you can rotate Frimpong and Salah, or if you really want to be ruthless, once Isak is fit, you play Isak and Ekitike together, and you play a flat 4-4-2. You can't be playing Verts to start the game. You can't be playing Frimpong. You can't be playing, like these players are not up to pace right now.
So what do you? I mean, yeah, obviously, especially in Word's case, not up to speed. But for some it takes time, right? Some hit the ground off running as soon as they hit the pitch in a new league and new team. But for some other players, right, sometimes it's just the time they need, right? Get a few games under the belt, and suddenly they're back to who they previously were.
I mean, okay, let's go through the players. Um, Frimpong, new to the league. Okay. Ekitike, new to the league, hit the ground running. I don't think Frimpong is ever a right back, and he's definitely not a right back in the Premier League. If he's in La Liga, in Liga 1, or the German league, yeah, he can get away with it because the level of competition, respectfully, is not to the level that you see in the Premier League, and also the physicality. Even the lower teams, the physicality is not something Jeremy Frimpong is used to. Okay, that's Frimpong. Ekitike, there's nothing to be said. I think he's the best signing as it currently stands.
Mm,
Currently, as it stands, he is the best signing in the Premier League. Um, then we go to Florian Wirtz. Same thing. I think the physicality is something he did not expect, and I think he's struggling. His game style, I think, yes, he will warm up to it and understand how to play. Almost like a Martin Odegaard when he first came from Spain, he struggled, right? The
mm,
physicality. So I think he'll pick it up eventually, or at least I hope for CJ's sake because he picked him as the player of the year.
mm,
Um, Kirkez, zero excuse. Bournemouth play a very offensive style, and last season on Bournemouth playing left back, he played a very offensive style. So there's zero excuse. You don't have any adaptation to go through. The only adaptation maybe he's going through is the fact that the Liverpool jersey is 10 times, even 100 times heavier than Bournemouth, respectfully. Okay.
mm,
But from a tactical football lens, there's no adaptation required there. Then we come to Isak. There's zero adaptation. However, he didn't have a preseason. So we'll give him some grace. I would give him another 2 game grace period. But also to Arne Slot's point of view, and to quote the man himself, after the last game, he said, yeah, he's good to go. You can judge him now. So he's up to speed. So there's no more like, oh, he's adapting, he's doing this. Like he played in the Premier League. Like, what are you adapting to? What, you're adapting to like you facing I don't know, Dan Burn now? Are you serious? You faced them all last year. You're adapting to facing Gabrielle. I don't think it's a personnel issue as much as I think it's Arnie Slot not knowing how to slot the pieces together. He has all the marbles and he doesn't know how to put them together. Everything's just rolling off the board.
mm.
That's how I look at it. I don't know, CJ, what's your thoughts? Am I just being a hater or am I being like what's your thoughts?
Mm. Yeah, you can definitely just say there's a little bit of haterade sprinkled in there, I'm sure. Um, but at the same time, yeah, obviously, the late Kobe Bryant once said, or rest in peace, he said, job's not done, and that goes for all the clubs in this league. Job's not done, job's not finished. So that goes for Arsenal, who's sitting pretty at the top of the league right now, of course. Um, and that goes for Liverpool, who's on the negative side of the spectrum at the moment, right? We're only 9 games in, and they look like they're 7 points off the top of the league. And not even just that, their performances aren't up to scratch, right? That's where it starts. You have to start performing first, and then your results should come. But they're not even looking like a team that can contend at the moment for a title. But yeah, we're only 9 games in, so what we're saying at the moment, obviously, is with the sample size of 9 games. So of course, yeah, it sounds like things are in turmoil and in crisis, whatever, but there is still plenty of time. I'm not getting carried away, and there's plenty of time for him to turn things around. You know, um, Like, look, Arteta had I'm gonna say this, Arteta had a worse run when he first came into the club. Eighth 2 years in a row, and that form, if you remember, Murdad, the form around December time and prime COVID when we were losing every game too.
Yep.
Yes, we didn't have the money that was spent at the time, the same way Arne Slot has. But that was a team who he inherited, who were a team full of previous winners, right? He had won an FA Cup with that team. Emery did a decent job with that team in his first full season. So, um, things take time, and now we are seeing Arne Slot for what he really is now in terms of finally getting some financial backing and getting the players that he wanted. I think there's a theory, in my opinion, there's a theory to say that some of these players that were signed weren't all his, and I stand by that. And I think we'll hear things come out maybe like in the summer next year or as the season progresses. Something in my mind tells me that these weren't all his signing specifically. So watch this space on that one because I think there's something to be said about that. Like the Frimpongs of the world, like there's certain signings I think
When what
that
makes you say that?
because I think some of these were like board signings or like executive director or technical director signings or sporting director signings, I should say. I just think that again, like he would have gone on with it and been on board with it just because obviously I think maybe they're all in unity right now, but I didn't think specifically like there were certain signings where I just don't think that he said, yeah, I want this player, so let me go. Like I don't think, for example, he said I want Ekatike and I want Isaac. In my opinion, I think Isaac obviously became a market opportunity. Maybe he wanted one or the other, but the club said, "Hey, we're going to go out and get both because now Isaac is available, so that's a market opportunity. So we're going to go and get both." I think he could have and would have been just content with just the one. But again, I know nothing. This is just me with no knowledge of anything on the inside of that club. But again, I do think that there were some things that were maybe sporting director decisions or club decisions that were a little bit over his head. Um, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, all in all, right? You're going with
But sorry,
yeah.
CJ, sorry to cut you off, but just before you go away from that point,
Mm,
but isn't that proving my point even more? Because FSG is they're very loyal to their managers. Like once you prove to them that you're here for the long run and that you can win things, they'll listen to what you have to say. They'll listen for your input. It's not like a Marinakis that just does whatever the fuck he wants. FSG wants the manager involved because they understand that the day-to-day is the manager that's running in his coaching staff, right? It's not like, they have a very good foundation as much as I hate to say it. Their foundation
they
is
do, yeah.
very sound. They know what they're doing. They're very wise in the market. They sell well, they buy well.
Mhm.
Um, but if what you're saying is true, and I understand you have zero insight, it's just almost like a
It's a
gut,
hunch. Yeah.
it's a hunch. But wouldn't that prove my point even more that they know that Arne Slot got lucky last year? And I use that term lucky very loosely because I don't know what other word to use, but like why spend 500 million on someone who you're, you know, not certain is he's going to be the future.
Mm.
You
So
don't.
can I tell you guys what I think? So what I think, because I believe even when Klopp was in charge, I believe the sporting director, I think his name is Edwards, Michael, is it Michael Edwards or
Yeah,
something Edwards? He's a really good sporting director, so much so that he can make those decisions about knowing what's best for the club without necessarily having to, I don't know, directly consult the manager, whoever the manager is at the time. Yes, Klopp would and him have to get along, and they have to be aligned on a lot of things. But I think there's a lot of decisions that Michael Edwards or the sporting director made. Can you confirm for me? It's Michael Edwards,
yeah,
right?
is Michael
Okay.
Edwards.
Mike,
He brought in Salah, Firmino, Sadio Mane, Allison, and Van Dijk.
right, like a number of quality
Without
players, right?
consulting club.
No, 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 no,
I,
no, no, no. I'm just saying these are the people that he brought in
Oh.
during his era. No, no, no.
and so I think he has so much of a great reputation and such a good CV and a good a good rep essentially in the space of a technical director and a sporting director that I think the club overall, including the Klopps of the world, trust him to know what's best for the squad and help build the squad. Maybe let Klopp do a lot of what's going on the pitch, like the day-to-day management, as Murdad said, and then behind the scenes, Edwards as the director is kind of helping form the squad. And I think that's the case, yeah, for whoever's sort of in charge, right? So now it's obviously Arne Slot. Previously it was Klopp. I think the sporting director has a lot to say, and he gets a lot of credit for helping build the squad. Whereas, for example, not all clubs are run like that, mind you, right? Every club has a different model. Whereas, for example, in Arsenal, I don't think anything misses or goes over Arteta's head. Like everything has to be confirmed and finalized and run through him. And this is where I think there were issues with Edu, the previous technical director, sporting director, and Arteta. I think there were a little bit issues behind the scenes there. Yeah, in our case, I think everything has to go through Arteta. No questions asked. And again, different clubs have different, systems and different ways of going about things. And again, boys, I'm just saying this as a hunch. I just feel like Edwards, since he's been there for so long, regardless of who the manager is, he just has a lot of say in terms of knowing what's best for the club and him on that board of directors and kind of being part of the hierarchy there.
He's the CEO now of FSG.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like it's a combination thing. Whereas, like I said, whereas Arsenal, I feel like Arteta runs the ship and not nothing, will go over his head. I think there's more of a collaborative effort in the Liverpool camp, and there's more sort of heads involved in terms of the decision making and finding out and filling the squad and what's best for the squad. I don't think it's just an Arne slot in the case of Liverpool, right? I think there's a few pieces around him where they'll kind of collaborative effort to decide what's best for the squad. And so,
Hmm.
all that to say, long-winded answer and saying, I don't think each and every signing that he's made thus far this past summer was directly him saying, yes, go and specifically get me that player. I can see an Arteta saying, I wanted this player, go out and get him for me. Whereas Slot, I feel like, would have said, okay, let's work through this together. I trust what you guys want to do, and I'm on board with what you guys want to do. A la the Ekatike and Isaac thing. I kind of feel like him saying, like, I can see him saying, sorry, like, oh, if you guys want an Isaac on top of an Ekatike because of their market opportunity, like, yeah, by all means, if we have the money, if we have the backing,
Yeah.
let's do it. You know what I mean? I can't really see any sensible manager
Same.
wanting to have both of those sort of strikers in the club at the same time, because for the things that you said previously, Murad, it's like that's not really good for the unity and the cohesion and the squad building, right? Like two strikers of that stature, no manager really wants that sort of headache and have to work with something like that, right? You have your set striker, you have your center, especially in that position, right? You
Mhm.
have your center forward, and then you have your backup. Sometimes those things are very clear, very distinct, sort of thing. So those would have been problems that I think that he said, hey, I'll take it on because again, market opportunity. How could we pass up on an Isaac if you guys want to go and spend that money? But going into the summer, right, I think he would have said, okay, maybe I want a striker. I know I want a striker, but I'm going to get this one specifically. And then, maybe like I don't know, a squad filler later throughout the window. But anyways, sorry. So back to your original point. Yeah, I think there is definitely time to turn it around. Um, Not enough time, and so much so that I think they'll win the league because right now it's looking like week by week the league itself is slipping away from them. They'll maybe bridge the gap and they'll get closer and they'll start competing in terms of we'll look at their results and say, oh, like they look good for the future, kind of thing. Once he gets everything to gel and everything to mesh, but there are certain things that I think we're now going to have to see beyond this season, right? Like Salah. Like I think now we're going to start to see what the new era of Liverpool looks like beyond the Mo Salah. You know, some would say he's detrimental to the club now as he's getting older. Um, you
Well, his
know,
antics off the field is definitely detrimental, and it's classless. I know
yeah.
we were watching the games together today. Um, just a little off topic, like El Clasico, Vinny, his attitude is classless. So, I mean, that type of behavior is there's no place for that.
But
As
again, I think we're seeing with these issues, as you're saying, um, part of what he's going to have to do this year is a lot of man managing, because whilst I said that people like and you did say this, people said, oh, he inherited like Klopp's squad. Like for me, that's never really meant anything because it's like he didn't inherit Klopp's winning team. He didn't inherit a team that went out winning, right? When Fergie retired and he gave it over to David Moyes, for example, David Moyes would have inherited a winning team because Fergie left off winning the trophy. So literally, David Moyes can say, "Oh, I inherited a team that just finished winning the Premier League." Like Klopp hasn't won; he didn't go out winning the Premier League, and that's maybe partially why he stepped down because he was tired of losing to like Man City, for example. He was fatigued, he was tired, so he hasn't won the Champions League in a number of years, Klopp, and he didn't win the Premier League in his last year. It was a failed attempt. So it's not like he inherited a club or sorry, a team that has already won, right? A lot of players are starting to go maybe a little bit on the decline or getting past it and so on. So I don't necessarily buy that whole thing of, well, he inherited Klopp's team and that means he automatically, like, no, there's still a little bit of work to be done. But what's happening this year, in my opinion, is yes, he's now managing new players and he's managing the egos and he's managing what happens basically when things go wrong. And this is where, yes, we are now going to see what man management looks like because there is a lot of egos and a lot of personalities in there. And that's not going to be fixed overnight.
Well, let's shift gears. We already gave Liverpool the first 20 minutes of our show. Um Episode 53, fellas. Episode 53. As always, Mr. Piana,
Yeah.
Mr. Blanket, Mr. Chelsea. He actually
Mhm.
we can CJ and I can officially confirm that Laurent does own something Chelsea related, as I give
Ole.
a little paraphernalia today. So we can actually confirm Laurent is a Chelsea fan. He does have Chelsea paraphernalia, does not have a jersey. We have yet to see it, but we have seen a United jersey, and that video will come out. Um, and yeah, and we got CJ, no mean mugging today, just the pearly whites. They're not as pearly as the other day, but the Crest Pro White needs to come out. Oh fuck. Oh man. I don't know why you guys allow me to just be so stupid at the pod. God damn it. This is
It's
uh,
whatever helps you get through the evening, you know what I'm saying? Like we're here for it, fam. This is your time to shine.
Arnie slide. Hey, I'm just saying my point's gonna be proven by the end of the year. Um Set piece again. Ole, ole. Um, we didn't score directly from a set piece today, but indirectly, Eberechi Eze banged one home, half volley past Dean Henderson. He made a couple huge saves. I think that was that save off of Gyökeres, the one they turn around when he palmed it away. Um, Either way, 1-0 to the Arsenal set piece again. Ole, ole. Unreal performance. Um,
Was it though?
I mean, we won. It was controlled.
Let's no. Let's start there if we're gonna start. Was it an unreal performance? And that's for all y'all to answer. I don't know about
Okay,
that.
fine, fine, fine. It was an unreal performance. It was just a controlled performance. It was boring. It was meticulous. Um it was boring. It was boring and controlled. That's how I want to describe it. It was very controlled. We knew exactly what we were doing. We suffocated them. I think the second half, like I don't even think they had a shot on target. So for me, boring and controlled. Laurent, what say you?
Yeah, you know what you guys are like?
What?
You guys are like that boxer that never wins on knockouts. Bro, the guy is probably undefeated, never lost a fight. It all comes from points. He knows how to score points throughout all 12 rounds, and then he goes to the judges' cards, and then the judges, right, side with him. And that's how he gets his victory, right? So, at the end of the day, yeah, the guy's undefeated, right? He wins his bouts. Um, but it's like we want to see more.
Do you want to see the sexy knockout
Well,
deep like
of course, we want to see, bro. We any fan of the sport or any sport for that matter, you want to see the players go out there, right, and put on a show, right? And if I ask you guys, was a show put on today? I'm pretty sure the
hell
answer,
no.
huh?
Hell no, that's the answer.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, it's good just from a practical, right? If we're being completely pragmatic, right? A victory, I guess, is the most important part. Um, but man, and again, like my main point is with this, right? Is because how long can you guys keep this up? And especially in right in a long season where I feel like at some point, right? And you never know who the two trailing teams might be for you guys, right? If we go down the stretch, and I feel like it's gonna take a bit more, like a bit more of killer instinct is what I'm trying to say, right? To secure that title, right? Because I think CJ mentioned it, right? That let's say you have a city chasing you down, right? And it goes down to the wire, right?
I mean,
It's
in
like
the last
mhm.
four games, I'm just quickly looking. So last four games. So this game against Palace, we gave up zero shots on target. Atletico one, Fulham one, West Ham zero. So we've given up two shots on target in a span of four games. Um, after the international break in February, I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago.
Hmm.
Now that we were there, when we went to Dubai and we came back, we went undefeated for like 14, 15 games in a row.
Mm,
So I think we can do the stretch, and I think the difference between the team that we have now versus the teams that we've had in the last 2, 3 years when we were in the title race, one injury could undo everything. Whereas now, don't get me wrong, don't hear what I'm not saying. Like if we miss Saka, Gyökeres for extended periods of time, yeah, it's going to be extremely detrimental. But the way that the squad is built, we can handle it. And not just handle it to say, okay, we're going to get by. Like we can still play the same style and still apply the same pressure. But yeah, for me today, controlled, boring,
Yeah,
but
but I think what Laurent is saying too, which is an important point to make, is we have to up our level of performance. Like is how we're playing right now sustainable to win a league? Because, for example, what happens if the set pieces dry up? It seems like at the moment that we are scoring from a set piece every game, but we may not actually score from a set piece every game. There may be some game where we're firing blanks, or the opposition just defends it well enough and alleviates that part of our game. So how else do we score? Do we look convincing enough in other areas to break down the opponent? So over a 38 game season, right, when we're this early on in the season, are we going to be able to keep managing like this for the next, I don't know, 2/3 of the season and get by? I think, am I right, Laurent? And like, is that something you're alluding to? Is like, it doesn't even matter about personnel necessarily because we bought in new players and we're still kind of seeing similar patterns of last season and so on and so forth. So it's like, yeah, to me, what I gather what you're saying and just kind of throwing it out there is the level of performance and what we're seeing on the pitch is going to need to improve or step up. Essentially, we're going to have to find different ways of carving a team open. That penetration pause. All that, like, just not relying on necessarily the set pieces exclusively. Like, I think that's what you're saying, Laurent. And correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah, no. I think the set piece element too is I mean it's definitely one to be examined, right? Because on one end, listen, like I said, whoever it is that you guys have, right? I think that guy deserves every raise. Like every time, right? You guys get away with that shit. That guy bank account should be, hearing like a cha-ching, right? But yeah, because again, I think teams are going to start to. I mean, if they already haven't started, right, they're gonna look to start to defending those set pieces a lot better, right, than they are now, and start to find what's a good way to neutralize you guys during those set piece, right? To see who maybe is the most dangerous man, right? And I can probably name one right now, right? Your center back, Gabriel, right?
Mhm.
Maybe mark him somehow, um, because yeah, and then if that does happen, right, where the set pieces aren't coming and you guys aren't used to scoring from open play, there could be stretch of games where points are dropped, not necessarily due to losses, but simply due to the games being tied, right? And that can also be very dangerous for teams, right? If you're tying too many games, right, you can find yourself in a pretty sticky situation if you're not careful.
My only thing is, and we talked about it the last pod is, let's give them a run of games together. Right? Like let's see these guys play together for a run of games, um, and then judge that. But I do agree with you. Like there's something does need to change because we can't be going into games like especially like if this was at Selhurst and we won 1-0 like that, I wouldn't care. Like, okay, whatever. But when you're at
Mm,
the Emirates, there has to be that like next level, next gear that you go to, right? You're not playing away from home where you get the lead and you just want to be like, okay, you know what? Let's just see it out. You're at home. Go to that next level. So I do agree with you, but I also like I played devil's advocate the last pod, and I'm going to do it again. This pod is we haven't seen this cohort of players have the same lineup every single game for an extended period. So that's what I kind of want to see and see if that's going to help. I do think there's another level that we need to get to, and I do think we will get to it. It's just a matter of, do we need another Dubai trip? Do we need another, like interlull where we have the players together and Arteta can kind of work on those relationships? You're already starting to see, I think,
No,
CJ
man.
out with Timber and Saka. Like that relationship, in my opinion, is better than Saka and Ben White already.
Fam, there's no more, no man, no more Dubai trips, no more phases, no more building blocks, no more Jengas. Like fuck, no, no, no. Just fam, we're here now. I don't need no time. No, 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 no. Now is the time, bro. Now is the
They're
time,
gonna
and
go
now
to
is the time.
Dubai.
Huh?
They're gonna go to Dubai in February.
Yeah, but like fuck, I don't want to wait till February to see us start performing. To be honest with you, because if let's go into the last few Premier League games, like Champions League games aside, because we all know like Champions League games are different and the way they're played and the way the opposition comes out and so on and so forth. If we're literally looking at the last three Premier League games, right? So that's obviously today, that's Fulham last weekend, and that's I think West Ham before the international break, right? So just those three alone in like the immediate sample sizes, we none of us were impressed with any of those performances in those last three games. In fact, we come out and we're all like, "Well, shit, that was underwhelming. Like that's not a game I'm gonna want to watch back anytime soon." And it's like a little bit uneasy on the eye. The only saving grace is knowing that, yeah, when we score one, I'm so confident that we're gonna see out the game because of how good our back line is. But even today, I was like, shit. I'm like, Crystal Palace looked like they could cause. I think that game played another 10 minutes. I was definitely a little bit more on edge today, as I was in previous times. Like, yes, we kept clean sheets in the previous two games, but again, back to the original point of what Laurent is saying. Like, yeah, like we went 1-0 up today, and we tried to see out most of the game, but like it's not always gonna work like that. Like, at sometimes you can't just like, okay, like yeah, we have the lead now. We're just gonna maybe take our foot off the gas and hope our immaculate defending can see us out the game. It's not always going to work like that. Sometimes you're going to get a fluke deflection from a shot out from way out, right? Or a handball that wasn't necessarily your fault, but it's a handball in the box, and boom, all of a sudden the opposition is level, and then it's now 1-1, and you're like, shit, like there goes the clean sheet record, there goes the good defending, all that. Like there has to be times where you have to see your opponent. A lot of the championship teams that we've enjoyed watching in the past, right? They smell blood when the opportunity is there to be taken. And I'm talking like, so the Arsenal Invincibles. I'm talking the best Manchester City sides. I'm talking Liverpool under Klopp, where ruthlessly, right? If we know the game is won in the tunnel, as they say, right? You look at your opponent, like my team versus your team. We're in the tunnel before kickoff, and the opposition has pretty much lost the game from there already, right? They look at the opposition like, yeah, we're not getting anything from these guys today because the level of performance that's gonna come on the pitch, that's gonna follow, right? When Klopp's Liverpool sides, when City's sides, the Invincible sides, when we're up 1-0, we go for 2-3-0, right? You really impose your authority on the game. There's too many games I'm watching now with us where it's like we're getting the results, but it's like we don't necessarily look like the superior team on the pitch. It's just kind of coasting through games, and we're just getting by. And I don't want us to just get by anymore. I want to see us sort of impose our superiority. You guys get that?
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that like again, I'm gonna steal a phrase from Arnie's slide. I'm not trying to make excuses, but also like Saka wasn't fit, Gabriel wasn't fit. Um, Rice had to come off with an injury. Saliba came off with an injury. Martinelli had an injury. So like the context of the game is, maybe Arteta is like, okay, we just have to control it. I know some players there's a couple holes there. I know that they're injured. Let's just keep it controlled. The other two games, I have no idea, but for this game specifically, that's the only thing that I can say from a devil's advocate point of view. But I hear you.
But that's one game in isolation, right? If it's one game in isolation, I get it, but this is a common pattern. And that's where the concern is. I think there's no question asked that, and we have the squad now, so we can't even use injuries, right, as a thing. Or I think regardless of who's fit and who's not, who's there, who's like the circumstances of the game, we overall just need to see a better level of performance. I think that's the underlying factor, right? Yes, it's nice to win these games, and it helps that we're seeing our opponents or our direct rivals for the title drop points, yes, that obviously helps, right? But I still want to see us show that we are clearly the best team in the league because the eye test also shows it, right?
Mm.
So, like you said, this is actually a pretty decent segue. All the results for us this weekend went in our favor. So we have a 4 point gap between second place Bournemouth. Crazy to think that Bournemouth are in second. 6 points between fifth place Manchester clubs, Man City and Man United, and 7 points ahead of the champions Liverpool. So prior to the international break, we have Burnley away and Sunderland away. In between that, we got Brighton at home for the EFL Cup this Wednesday, and then we got Slavia Praha away Champions League next week. I'll ask you, Laurent, what do you think? We just saw Burnley steal late points away from home against Wolves, and Sunderland. There isn't really much to be said until we get to the next um, chapter of our podcast. But what do you think? Do you think Arsenal should expect 6 out of 6, or do you think 4 out of 6 is good enough?
Wait, so 6 out of 6 you're seeing for those two Premier League games?
Yeah, so 3 points each.
So that's Burnley and then Sunderland. Yeah, I think Burnley. I think you guys should come out with a win there. The Sunderland game, that one is yeah. If I'm being completely honest, man, those guys are, you know what I mean? Like, nah, man.
Are you
It,
speaking
it,
from experience? The
yeah,
pain?
like,
Struggle?
yeah, all right. So if you want my advice, as they
Play
say.
defense. Okay.
Yeah.
CJ,
Yeah,
we're
just you guys, you guys are known to be defensively sound, so I don't think you guys are gonna have any problems on that end, right? Watch out for the long throw-ins,
yeah.
as that does seem to be one of their strong attacking points. But other than that, I honestly think you guys just have to show some teeth in that game, and there should be 3 points there as well. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because I feel like this Sunderland team is playing with a chip on their shoulder.
Mhm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and even the way they did us, like, you can sense like it's they're here to leave a mark, and that's what I'm saying, right? If you guys are playing a bit passive like that, right, looking to score points, you guys can get caught on the chin, right? When you least expect it. So yeah, definitely show teeth, and those 3 points should be well secured.
CJ?
6 out of 6. So, like realistically, you want to say, yeah, right? Again, if you look at everything on paper, a team in a title race, a team in top of the league should go to, you know, two recently promoted sides and win, home or away, you would say on paper. But again, we've been on such good form. Obviously, right now the form guide shows pure W's, right? Win, 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 win. And obviously things right tail off at some point, and you have to kind of be realistic and think that things will level itself out. The law of averages, right? So human beings at the end of the day, right? No one's perfect. So you have to say that whilst I expect 6, if we were to get 4, and that's 3 points, let's say at Burnley, and you get a draw away at Sunderland, if you get 4 points out of that, it's not necessarily horrible considering the position that we're currently in and the points gap we have over Liverpool and a City. And I don't mean to disrespect, Bournemouth and Sunderland, who are ahead of those guys at this moment in time. But let's be honest, Bournemouth and Sunderland will tail off at some point. So I'm still looking week over week. I'm looking at Liverpool and City, even though whilst they're not directly in second and third, they'll be there thereabouts. I still think so. Whilst we have a 6 point gap on City and a 7 point gap on Liverpool, it's healthy enough where it's like, okay, again, we're not gonna win every game out from here on to the rest of the season. I'm not Laurent. I'm not unrealistic and say we're gonna go Centurions or things like that. Like we are gonna drop a few points here and there. It's just the reality of the situation, especially playing the way we're playing at the moment. I'd be lying to you if I said I couldn't see a draw at Sunderland the way we're playing, and the way they're playing. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
with their stadium bouncing at the stadium of late, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a draw in that one. Um,
That was the banana peel game that I said during the intro lull, right? I said all the
yeah, yeah.
coming to the until the next interlull.
Mm.
But this is the banana peel game.
And
Um,
so if we win, so next week is Burnley. So if we win at Burnley, right? Keep in mind the ops, right? City has Bournemouth next week and Liverpool has Villa. So we maintain the gap, let's say. Say all of us win, which I don't see. Maybe one of them might draw points in that in their fixtures next week, but say all of us win out next week, right? Then we go into that final game before the international break, which is the Sunderland game for us. We still go into that with the gap that we have, which is the 6 points on City, 7 on Liverpool. Keep in mind that weekend they're playing each other. So somebody, if not both, will drop points again in that one.
yes.
So that's why I'm saying results depending, even if we drew against Sunderland and maintain the gap we have, it is not horrible. Considering again they play each other that weekend, City and Liverpool, right? So again, being realistic, we are going to drop points somewhere. I would not be surprised if that one was a draw. But again, the expectation is 6 out of 6. If we're being honest, I don't know if you see it any differently.
No, I totally agree with you. The expectation is 6 out of 6, and I would love, we're playing Slavia Praha away from home. I would love to see a slightly more rotated side against Slavia Praha. Obviously being respectful to them, but I would love to see us go for it at Sunderland because Granit Xhaka is going to get up for that game. He's going to get the troops riled up, and they're going to have a tifo for that game. And they're gonna come for it. They're gonna go for it. They have nothing to lose.
No,
They're pretty much secured after 9 games to staying up in the Premier League. Um, they have nothing to lose. They're just gonna go for it, and that's dangerous, right? But then on the flip side, if they are going,
if they do go for us, or they do, come out in the manner in what you're saying, right? Let's say they have that mentality of, there's nothing to lose and so on and so forth. That could maybe benefit us, right? And open up spaces for us to attack, right? So it could work in our favor because we all know how we can tend to struggle against low blocks. So if they do come out and actually have a go and come and play, um, it could benefit us. To be honest with you, so that might be a game. Funny enough, where if we aren't facing a low block, we could have some joy. It all depends because watching the game this weekend as I did Chelsea versus Sunderland, I didn't necessarily see a team that was sitting back in a low block per se.
Mhm.
Um, but they weren't necessarily going all gun ho, right? They weren't going all out attack. It was a pretty tame performance on there, and I felt like even when they went down 1-0 so early, they didn't panic. That was what I found the most scary slash concerning part about them. Like they look like a mature Premier League side. You know what I mean? You would never guess this is a team recently promoted. I literally thought, as we talked about earlier offline, and Laurent was saying, I agreed. I thought they would have maybe like crumbled, one would say, or like you would think that it's now okay. Chelsea just gonna kick on from here, win 2-3-0 or something, right? When you score that early on, but Sunderland just kind of grew into the game and just kind of bided their time, and in the end they take the 3 points. So I think the way in which they'll approach the game is going to be interesting to see. Now, maybe obviously, right, with all due respect to obviously a Chelsea side, like maybe the way they'll approach the Chelsea game may not be how they approach Arsenal. Like they may look at us in a different way because let's be honest, like teams, right? We do have that thing about us at the moment where teams are actually showing a little bit of respect to us and fearful of playing us. And we saw that when Man City came to town. Like nothing showed me more than when we played City and Liverpool already this year, right? Both of those teams took a conservative approach when they played us. Like they Pep changed his system when he played us. Arne Slot when we played them at Anfield earlier this year, everyone was underwhelmed by Liverpool's performance because they didn't go all out attack on us, right? They kind of had a let us have the ball sort of approach. If you remember Anfield in that first half, so I think those two games showed us a lot and showed even Arteta a lot. Whereas like the teams that we're playing at the moment are showing us a lot of respect and letting us have the ball or are sitting off of us or not going all out attack on us. Right. So I'm curious to know if Sunderland take that approach and they do their homework and study how other teams are playing us. And maybe switch up their style of play a little bit for that one specific game. If they're maybe smart enough to do so. Because yeah, if they do come out at us and try and attack us and we go kind of swing for swing, I think that would work in our favor for that specific game. So it's all about the approach.
Yeah. I just hope we can take advantage because if Liverpool and City, one of them drop points or if both of them drop points, and let's just say we win that game, that gap just increases even more so. And the margin for error, not saying that I want any margin for error or that I think we're going to make an error, but that gives us more flexibility. Um, so we're going to see. Like I called it a couple weeks ago, and I think this is the banana peel game. I don't think it's Spurs, unfortunately. No disrespect, Lauren. I don't think it's Chelsea, but it's these type of games that, remember the Luton Town from 2 years ago? Like, sure, we got away with it, but like CJ, that game was one of those games where I think if you and I were watching it together, either one of us or both of us would have had a heart attack just because of
Yeah.
the, like, I know how I was by watching it by myself. I can only
Mhm.
imagine how you were. So that's that game, and hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully we get 6 out of 6, but yeah.
Laurent, sorry, were you gonna say something earlier?
Yeah, no. So I mean, and I guess I think Murat partially answered, but because I know you guys mentioned Bournemouth and Sunderland, but I mean Tottenham is right up there, in fourth place, I believe, right? And to me, it seems like you guys have no fear for them, no consideration for where they even are.
For who?
Uh, for Tottenham.
Who?
Yeah, that's my point. And yeah, no, so I'm just curious as to where's this coming from, right? Because they seem to be performing well under the new manager.
Who's
Are they?
performing well under their new manager?
Yeah, they seem well. Spurs, right? And a convincing victory today, Everton. I know, Murda, you're a supporter of Everton, right? And I'm pretty
I am.
sure, I think you would have. Well, what was if you can even share
Seventh.
what your
Seventh.
Mhm.
You had them
right?
seventh.
But what was your prediction prior to the Everton and Tottenham game,
Draw.
right? And I think it was anything but, right? 3-0 victory,
Hmm.
solid, right?
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
can I answer that quickly? Sorry. Actually, were you making another point?
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just to answer that. To be honest, really, I'm not worried. I could have egg on my face, right, or it could get clipped up later down the line. It's simply put, bluntly put, I'm not worried about a Spurs in that way. Um, because you say that, right? You say that they're performing um well under the new manager, this and that. Whilst Murdad, you can quickly pull up their stats for the season, wins, loss, and draws. But they won 3-0 today. Last week, if you draw your memory back to last week, they lost 2-1 at home to Brighton, who just got slapped by Man United this weekend. So it's not like they've been doing this week over weekend. It's like, okay, they're showing me signs of a solid team. They literally just lost their last Premier League game at home to a Brighton side who just got dumped by Man United. And then in Champions League midweek, they played Monaco and drew a blank 0-0 of an unconvincing performance. They should have lost the game if Monaco could take their chances. So for me, I'm just like I said, it may sound ignorant to ignore the teams that are currently second, third, fourth in the standings as such, right? A Sunderland, a Bournemouth, a Tottenham, but my eyes are solely on City and Liverpool. Teams who've recently been there, done that, and shown that in the past. Those are the two teams I'm worried about the most. Spurs have not shown enough consistency for me to be worried about them at this stage. In terms of, I'm talking from like the lens of title race, right? I don't see Spurs being thereabouts. And sure, like right now, of course, you can't ignore what they're doing right now. We're going to play them in a few weeks. They'll do well, right? But we're talking now like crunch time, right? The time that Pep likes to look at when he plans for his squad, and you look at February onwards. Like those are the times you have to think like, okay, are they going to be thereabouts? We've seen this happen in the past with the Spurs, and they started off hot, started strong, but Spurs are Spursy, as we always say. And again, their form isn't the greatest. Yes, they had a good result today, but Spurs is that kind of side, as we all know. They'll win today and lose next week, disappointingly, right? They'll win convincingly against a good side away from home, and then they'll go and lose at home to a lower end of the table team. That's just who they are and how they are, and that hasn't changed regardless of who the manager is. So for me, that's why I don't. Again, I'm not being ignorant to it. I don't think, but I'm just being realistic. I wouldn't. I'm not really looking at them and saying I'm fearful or like they're a threat to the title race, in my opinion.
They're 5-2.
Right.
They're 5-2-2. So they open up the season beating Burnley 3-0. They beat Man City away from home 2-0, which was a good result, but again, they always beat Man City. Then Bournemouth at home, they lost 1-0. They beat a 10-man West Ham 3-0. Then they beat Villarreal in Champions League. Then they drew Brighton away, which is a good result. Third round EFL Cup, they beat Doncaster 3-0. It's Doncaster. Then they go home and they draw Wolves.
Mm.
And mind you, that Wolves that they drew, I don't know if you guys remember, it was Paulinho who scored in like the 97th minute, and he took off his jersey celebrating like they won the Champions League.
That's
And
my bad, boys. I realized I said it was Brighton they lost to at home. I think it was Villa. So that's my bad.
it was Villa.
Yeah.
After the Wolves, end of September, they drew Bodo Glimt, and mind you, they had a lead. Um, then the weekend they went to Leeds away, they won. Okay, good result. Then they came back home after the international break. They lost to Villa. And then the Monaco, as CJ said, they shot blanks, and then they beat Everton. This week, Wednesday, they have Newcastle away, which I'm predicting a loss. Then they have Chelsea. I'm also predicting a loss. I think Chelsea will do them. Then they face Copenhagen at home, and I think they'll lose. And then they have United at home prior to the international break. So like
I don't know, Murdad. Am I being like I'm just thinking future, right? I'm looking into the future and I'm thinking who's gonna be thereabouts, who's gonna be in the conversation when we turn into the new year because we've been there in the past, right? So I'm thinking about that time of year already. Um, am I overlooking these sides at the moment, like the Sunderlands, the Bournemouths, and the Spurs, and those clubs, or am I right in thinking, okay, City and Liverpool are the ones that we got to watch out for because they're going to be in the trenches with us when it comes down to it.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I think the team that we're all overlooking
Man, you.
because they don't have anything.
Well, they brought. I think I put them in my top five, top six to start the season in predictions, and
They
people
don't
laughed at me
have
for that.
anything to play for. And
They play once a week.
they play once a week. They are playing like Sunderland. They can just go for games. They don't have anything to lose.
They're already out of the League Cup, as we saw, to when they lost to Grimsby. Just had to get that in there. So they literally play once a week right now. No Europe.
Spurs, I think genuinely, like taking my Arsenal lens out of this, which is gonna be very difficult. I think once we get into the new year and the fixtures come thick and fast, I think they're just gonna fall off because of the fact that they have to play every 3 days. And I think they play such an emotional style of football that they can't control their emotions. Like Mickey Van der Van like was like celebrating like he won the world. Like I don't know if you guys rewatched the celebrations. Like he was celebrating like the world was coming to an end. And then you got Christian Romero, who does not know how to stay on the field and who always wants to fight someone. You got, oh my God, what's his name? Pedro Porro who does the same thing. Like they can't control. They don't like playing a controlled style, and I think that's where they're gonna have difficulties. Bournemouth, I think we're gonna have egg on our face to overlook them because I think they're a very well managed side. Um,
Title race, though?
Not title race, but I think they'll be in there. I think they'll be in there. I think they'll be in for they'll be 100% top four, and I think they'll be pushing whoever is like third, fourth between them. I think they'll be pushing them unless they miraculously drop off. But I think the team that we're all overlooking is a United. And see, Laurent, I'm not trying to just be a dick and not say Chelsea, but genuinely, I think it's United because they don't have anything else to play for.
Well, I mean, um, there's a interesting stat here, which I think you guys are gonna like to hear actually, because it bodes
Uh-oh.
well for you guys. But
Uh-oh.
apparently you guys can fact check this, but after 13 games, every team who's picked up 34 points has gone on to win the Premier League without fault.
13 games.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So essentially, if you guys can win your next 4 games, history has it that you're pretty much there.
Hmm.
Wait, 34 points after 13 games? At
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Where are we now? How many points
22.
do we have, Murdad? We have 22?
Yeah.
Um, that's not going to get us. Oh, sorry, hold on.
Yeah, it is. It's 12 points, 4 games.
That's 34. Wow, we have to. Oh, okay. I don't know if I don't even think that's gonna happen. Our next four Premier League games, if I'm not mistaken, looking far into the future, is the Burnley, Sunderland, and I think that's international break, and then we come back. It's literally Spurs and Chelsea. I don't know about 4 wins out of that.
Yeah, Spurs, Chelsea, and then in between that, it's Bayern Munich sandwiched midweek.
What a random stat. How did you get that one? Like specifically like 13 games.
Yeah, no, I was just doing some digging in because I wanted to see right the
At
odds,
GBT for the win.
but yeah, I don't know. So just keep that in the back of your head, man. Yeah, maybe we pop the bottle of champagne, you know? I guess after the Chelsea game, shit. If you guys win, because I think Chelsea would be the fourth game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you guys win everything before that, and then we're all at the gatherings, and depending on how that result goes, man, might be some early celebrations in the works. You know, you guys are looking at me so nervously, but what the fuck?
Anyways, let's keep it moving. I don't even want to bank on that because I can already hear the other side being like Arsenal, the first team should not. I don't even want to talk about that nonsense. Let's get to the rest of the fixtures quickly so we can get to the EFL breakdown between Arsenal and Brighton. Um, West Ham's getting relegated. Like they're getting relegated. I don't think Nuno's gonna do anything. Like, do you guys think Nuno actually has a chance of keeping them up?
Yeah, I do.
They lost two. You really? You genuinely think they do?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
But what makes you say that?
Nuno, he's worked the miracles at a similar club in the past, recent club. And he's got good players. This West Ham side, no one can tell me this West Ham side doesn't have good players. Like they have some quality players in this team. So you mix that with a good manager who, has done wonders before at a sort of mid-table club, and still with more of the season left to go, most of the season left to go. Yeah, I think there's plenty of time for him to turn it around. So I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt right now and saying he can turn it around.
They're sitting in 19th, 4 points behind 17th place Fulham. The fall from grace for Marco Silva, like it's crazy. But yeah, Leeds hand them another loss. Leeds are pretty much safe, I would say. They have 11 points after nine
What,
games.
bro? How are you saying that?
I don't think they go down. I think it's like seven wins or 8 wins, and you're pretty much secure. It's like 20 some odd points. Um,
That's crazy, fam.
I'll find that site. Don't worry. I'll use ChatGPT. Laurent, give us your breakdown. Centurion no more. It's official. Um,
Oh, you did the math?
I did the quick maths. Yeah. Um,
Did you
Well
actually?
then.
no, I didn't do the quick math.
Oh, okay.
Um, what say you? 9 games, 14 points, sitting in ninth place. Give us your breakdown.
Man. Um, such a weird game. I mean, you start off strong, right? You score a decisive goal, an even more decisive celebration, and then you just sleep on a throw-in, on a long throw-in, and that's how you concede, right? And after that, second half, again, right? We're dominating. And I do think, aside from just the stats on the possession, we did look quite disjointed. Um, Neto, even Garnacho, second half. I don't know if you guys have seen that play on a breakaway. Neto passes to Garnacho right in the middle, and then he just loses it, loses the ball with something that can easily any other players where you give that to Vinny and Mbappe, bro, that the keeper is having some work to do. But yeah, you
Are you
just
referring
lose.
to the time where it's
This is
almost
the
like a
key.
2v1 and their defender lets the ball bounce and he hesitates to go to it and then
Yeah,
backs off?
that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah,
that. Like
you guys
what?
should have capitalized from that for sure.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like you look back on that, and then there's even another play where I think it was João Pedro made a pass inside the box. We're all inside the box. He just makes a pass, and it's like everyone lets it go, right? And nothing comes of it. And it's just these
Mm.
small things, right? And you look at sides like the Real Madrids and the Barças, and it's like, yeah, you got to be clinical, man. Right? Like it's you can't allow that to happen because especially in at this level where again it's small margins, right? Fine margins. and then you get hit with a counterattack at the end of the game. Your two defenders, your midfield sleeping, and then you lose. And what are us Chelsea fans supposed to make of that, right? It's pretty much those two opportunities, and they took them, and that's it. 3 points gone. Um, so yeah, no, I think definitely a lack of maturity for me. Um, and I almost feel like there's no enforcer on that team on the pitch. Someone that is there to make sure that everyone just stays like focused, right? Especially on the defensive side of things. And that's why, for me, I think center backs are usually those key players, or like those defender type of players, right?
Mhm.
That you have that can lead your other players, especially in crucial moments like that, where because I feel too when you have a drop ball or a dead ball, sorry, right? And a throw in, and it's very easy for guys to switch off just for that one instant, right? Because to them sometimes it's like, okay, maybe I get a break, I get a breather, right? I can relax, right? And then you get hit, and essentially that's what happened with us. So at this point, man, I can only hope that defensively, right, we do end up fixing that because those three losses that we have in the Premier League, it's all defensive errors,
So you
right?
said you wanted the percentage. So you guys have 14 points out of 9 games. So there's 29 games left. So so you need 86 points to get Centurion. So the required pace is 2.97 points per game, aka you need to go perfect or near perfect to be Centurion. So it's while it's not mathematically zero, it's like 0.1 because there's no way you guys are gonna win 29 out of 29.
I mean, not with that defense, shit.
Even if you had Arsenal's defense, you're not winning 29 out of 29.
That I can disagree with. That I can confidently disagree with.
Yikes.
I think if we had that defense, um, because it's like if you do everything good on the offense, but your defense falters, it is very demoralizing.
Yo,
Uh, no, I thought you lagged again, but
I, are you being serious right now?
what?
That
I
you
mean,
that you think if Chelsea had Gabriel Saliba, Calafiori, and Timber, you'd win 29 out of 29?
more likely, highly like more, a lot likely than with
Give me a percentage out of 100. Because right now you're at 0.1. Sorry, 0.01.
mm, honestly, if I'm being completely, I'm gonna try to be as objective as possible.
Yo, this
Because
man
again,
can say like
no,
60%.
no, no. Because again, right? Take all the games from this season that we have lost, Bayern included, right? Defensive mistakes. All of those were defensive errors created from our own undoing, right? So now, if you're telling me that we just patched that up and we have a defense that allows 3 goals, right? And we clearly shown that we can score. So I think our chances go up, pretty considerably, right? And
Give
now
me a
it's
percent.
What are your goals for though? Are you that convinced with your team going forward though? Like, have you been that impressed
17 goals
offensively?
for 11
I'm
against.
I'm
Because
I mhm.
I
Yeah, go.
mind you, I just watched the one game. I've watched Chelsea here and there this season, but obviously I specifically locked into the game on the weekend, and I can't say that like I looked at that and said convincingly enough to say, yeah, these guys look like that's like championship offense. You know what I mean? Like that's like suffocating Klopp's front three, Firmino, Salah, Mane type. You know what I mean? Like they're suffocating them on the offense. It didn't look great. As you said, it broke down a few times with João Pedro, broke down with Neto and Garnacho. Like shit, it's almost like you guys are missing a, dare I say, Cole Palmer, right? That X factor in your team currently in the final third, right?
Ah,
Somebody who
yes,
somebody who makes
yes.
the difference. It's
Yeah,
serious. I'm being serious.
no, 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 no. I think you are right. Where a player like that would have to be factored into my calculation for sure. Um,
So just say it. Say it with chest. What do you think the percentage is if you guys had Arsenal, Arsenal's defense with that offense?
Mm. Honestly, man, I think so. What right now? What is it? It's point one,
0.01.
0.01%. I mean, minimum. I think 5% is the minimum.
Anyways, let's keep it moving. You're acting like it's like this man's gonna come with some fire. He's just like, you know. Um,
Well, you're trying to hear me say 95%?
no, I thought you were gonna say at least like 20%, 30%, like something
Yeah, no, I'm
like
saying minimum
holy
is like.
shit.
uh, well, man, a man can dream, bro. A man can dream.
A team that's dreaming, because they keep winning. Well, not really keep winning, but they're playing well. Newcastle. They beat Fulham late thanks to Bruno Guimaraes. He always seems to pop up with these like late goals.
Yeah.
They're sitting mid-table, 12th place. Do we think that they're going to be on the top six mix by the end of the season? Personally, I don't think so. I think the same argument that I made for Spurs is the same thing that I'm going to say about Newcastle. Too emotional, too rash.
Extra, I think the extra games too in the Champions League.
Yeah. And they are going to go for it for the EFL Cup, and they have a tough matchup this week. So, where they should win, but they can't rotate. So you guys saying yes, no,
I don't know.
I'd probably give him like 6 to 8.
6 to 8. Okay, so like top end.
Yeah, probably top end of that
Okay.
once the board gets reshuffled.
CJ, same thing.
Yeah,
Half?
yeah, I think so. I'm trying to remember where we all predicted them at the start of the season. I feel like I put them in and around that area. Maybe like yeah, I think I actually probably had them on the lower to like 8, 9, maybe something like that. Because I do think yeah, the obviously what happened with Isaac and that turmoil I thought was going to rumble on into the season a little bit, plus the extra games, plus like you said, they are a quite emotional club. So um, yeah, I think they'll falter down the table a little bit compared to last year.
Just trying to see what you predicted. Under your underachieving team was actually Newcastle.
Underachieving, I said, right? Yeah, yeah.
Laurent's underachieving team
I know
was
who it is. I know who it is.
okay.
Oh
And
wait, who is it?
come
Oh,
on.
you guys don't
Oh,
want to say?
you asking me. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Uh, pretty sure it's Arsenal.
Mm, mm.
Wow, what a guy.
Um, United. Yo, CJ, this is a shout out to your boy. Or actually, Laurent, your boy too.
Mm,
What's his name again?
Julian.
Julian. This is
Oh yeah,
spotlight, bro. We need to get you on the pod. You guys are in the title race. Ruben Amorim is God. Bruno Fernandez is the best midfielder in the Premier League.
Yeah, before you finish your sarcastic comments here, bro, I'm telling you, don't sleep on these guys, man.
No, I'm not sleeping on them. I was the one that said we're sleeping on United. I'm not sleeping on them.
No, 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 but you're still slightly sleeping on them, bro. I'm telling you, yo, I think Benjamin Tesco has shown more in eye test in terms of just overall link up play with his other compadres, more so than Gyökeres has, in my opinion, in my honest opinion.
That's
And
fine.
that is right, and that is something you want to see, right? That even if the guy is not scoring, he's able to link up passes, send guys through, right? And his controls, to me, his technique is a lot better than Gyökeres. Um, and yeah, no, so it's like, if that guy wakes up, and then you got Mbuemo, right? And then you got Cunha there, right? So, you know, I think you guys are gonna start taking these guys seriously.
I think At least I'm taking them seriously. But for a title race,
That's the context I'm drawing everything back to is title race because that's where we're thinking, right? That's where we're headed. So
Mm.
are we saying title race? Are we gonna take them serious in terms of title race? Or are we gonna say shit? These guys are a
absolutely.
solid top four Champions League contending squad. You know what I mean?
The fact that we've already faced them, the next time that we face them is at home, makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
if we have to go to Old Trafford and we're trying to win the Prem,
Hmm.
like,
Agreed. Yeah.
March, and it's a, March night at Old Trafford and they can, ruin our chances of winning the Prem, fuck that shit. But right now,
No,
we're good. We're golden.
fully agree with that actually.
So that's my thought process. Am I worried with them with respect to the Premier League? Absolutely not. If I'm a City, if I'm a Liverpool, if I'm a Chelsea, am I worried for like to play them? 100%. 100%. I'd be concerned. Um, so, but hey, good
Shit.
result.
Chelsea might need to look over the shoulder with United. That's looking like a
Look over the
proper top
shoulder.
four battle.
They're looking up at United right now. They're looking at their rear ends.
Mm. At their Kundes.
At their Kundes.
Yeah, you learn something new every day, as they say.
Fuck. If
Bro,
you
what's
know, you
crazy is
know.
I couldn't even stop thinking about that every time the guy was like getting the ball on the pitch as we're watching the game. I was like, what the fuck did Murray just like?
Oh shit. But yeah, United 4-2, Julian. Unreal performance by United. Just wanted to give you the shout out. Um, Brentford, Arnie slide.
Hmm.
Oh, that slide downhill. We already talked about it enough, but Brentford, 3-2. Um, is there anything else that needs to be said about this game? Aside from what we said at the beginning? CJ, I'm looking at you predominantly because I give you what I think is going wrong. Because LeBron asked me, "What say you? What do you think's going wrong?"
Hmm. Yeah, I think I alluded to it earlier, but right now I think what's going wrong is a problem that they're not going to be able to fix. Funny enough, it sounds like for another transfer window because, and people may think that sounds mad. Oh, they spent 400 mil, 500 mil, whatever. It looks like, guys, that they didn't get their fullback signings right. Yeah, it looks like they're struggling at the moment because they clearly have not replaced a Trent, and sometimes you can't replace, sometimes as they say, generational players. Trent has turned that right back position at Liverpool. He's transformed that position and what that position looks like in terms of being able to play make and be a creative player essentially from right back. 20 years ago, no one ever would have thought that's a thing. Like your right back is one of your most creative outlets, but Trent has transformed that and what that looks like for Liverpool. And right now they're struggling without that. Salah is struggling without that specifically.
Hmm.
Um, so
Double
Frimpong
side
is not.
wasn't the answer for that?
No, not long term. Because I think what we're seeing as well is when you pull Shabazz out of midfield and put him into right back, then they lose something in midfield, right? Do you guys agree with that? Because right now Shabazz looks like one of the best players of the season so far, and he's been better in midfield so far this season than a McAllister, right? Somebody who I rate very highly. So that's moving pieces around. Whereas once upon a time under Klopp, slot last year, everyone knew where they were playing. You slot Trent in at right back, pardon the pun, you slot Trent in at right back, Trent's at right back. You put Shabazz in midfield and so on and so forth. There's been a lot of moving parts again, which is contributing to all of the points that Murdoch has been making. Is all these moving parts and all these things that Slot has to now figure out, right? Reshuffling this, moving this player from X to Y. Like it's a lot of reshuffling going on, and it's not as simple as plug this player here, plug this player there. He's got to figure some things out personnel wise and internally, right? If you do want to use Shabazz as your solution to the right back issue at the moment, then again, you lose something in midfield at the moment, especially because McAllister has not shown form and Verts has shit the bed. So, I think fullback is the starting point of where they're getting things wrong at the moment. Funny enough, we were all saying center back at the beginning. And I think, Murad even alluded to it now in saying, we all said at the beginning, center back is where they're lacking and they still need a center back. Heck, they even maybe need a center midfielder to complement or replace a Gravenberch. But I think based on how the fullback situation is going at the moment, that situation has now expedited once again to sort of the top of the list in terms of
For
what they
sure.
actually need to solve that because it's not looking good right now with Kirk as or Frimpong. And that, as much as I said, Slot will need some time to work on those internal solutions, and guys will come good at some point. Like for me, there's still no doubt Isak is going to come good and whatnot, but I don't think they'd have an immediate solution for the right back situation specifically, right? Like that's who you have in there at the moment is not going to be good enough for them to win the league in such fine margins, right? In my opinion, with Frimpong, who's showing that this is the Premier League, it's ruthless. You need to be able to defend first, somewhat as a right back, and if you're not going to, you have to be a Trent Alexander-Arnold on the ball, which Frimpong is not. So,
Yeah.
and then there's a Cody Gakpo who just not Cody Gakpo, sorry, Connor Bradley, I think his name is, the right back,
Yeah.
backup there. Decent defender, nothing special, right? Typical, right back, but he doesn't offer
He's just
much.
a scouse. He's just a scouse.
He's just there, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
he's good as a number two. He's good at to come up and finish see games out, but not to
yeah,
play the whole game.
yeah. And Kirkez on the other side, right? He's not been great so far either, to say the very least.
Yeah.
So I think fullbacks are a massive issue, and do they have the time while they're supposed to be in the title race? Do they have the time to sort that out? I think they'll just fall further and further behind if they don't sort out their fullback stuff. And teams are going to look to exploit that as they have done so far. So that's what I think is going wrong in the immediate term is that fullback situation is looking kind of shaky, to be honest with you. Um, I can ask you guys a quick question though. Yeah, it's sort of a yes or no, because whilst we're talking about all this, and I said Liverpool is still dangerous, and I'm still concerned about them because I'm going to respect the fact that they are obviously reigning champions. In both of your guys' perspectives, is Liverpool still in a title race, and will they still be in the title race?
Yes.
Laurent?
Um, hmm. Well, I'd say right now, until the next four games that you guys have, I'd say yeah. But like I said, man, if you guys get those 34 points, I think it's pretty much you know, settled on how that league is gonna go.
Can you
Yo,
actually do? Can you
be
do me a
serious,
favor
man.
on it? Can you do me
No, I mean dead serious.
actually?
Fam.
Like every team, no, seriously, every team that has not has gone on to win, bro.
So that automatically means that you win
It's
13
it's
games, you're going to go on to.
very it's highly likely. Like it is highly likely that
We all know football doesn't work like that, man.
no, but I'm just saying I'm playing the odds now, right? It's highly likely. Like so it's like right? And again, right? You guys are showing consistent defensive performances, right? It's not like you guys conceded 3 goals up to this point. Meaning if you guys do win these 6 games, I can only imagine what the defensive record is going to be then. You see what I'm saying? Right? And then four games, right? We're pretty much what? End of November, coming up Christmas, right? And we're halfway there. So
We're not halfway there. 38 games, bro. So 13 games. That's not even close to half.
no, I'm saying like going on Christmas, right? So it's like
Oh.
yeah, it's like no, well, near halfway, right? So
In broader terms, they usually say this: the statistic to kind of determine how the league is going to shape up is literally by Christmas itself and the turn of the new year, right? The table then kind of shows, if you're top by Christmas, let's say, your odds to win the league are obviously a lot more favorable. Um,
right. No, I don't disagree, but like I said, man, like because like that's a strong start. That means that you guys lo won all games, lost one,
mhm.
and the max number of games that you drew were probably like two.
One, yeah,
No, two. You guys, so you're allowed 2 draws, 1 loss, and then everything else is
for 34 points.
yeah,
You're saying
yeah, or wins, right?
You said
So
13 games?
yeah, 13. Yeah,
I'm confused because
I believe it is
sure.
that was
13.
such a
Yeah, most
random
points
number.
after 13 games. Every team that picked up, yeah, 34 more points in their first 13 games has gone on to win the Premier
On
League
the
title.
first 13 games of the 22-23 season, Arsenal were at 28 points. We lost one game and we drew one game.
hmm Wait,
That doesn't make sense. After 13 games, we had 28 points, and you're saying after 13 games, we're going to have 34.
Wait, 13 times 3, right? 39. That's the max points you can get, right? If you do 13 times 3, right?
Correct. Correct. And so we minus 3, minus 1.
Yeah, so then yeah, so -3 if you guys lose, right? So that's 36, and you guys can't lose another one. So that would mean -1, -1, two losses. I mean, two draws, sorry. And then everything else has to be wins for that to be 34 points. But yeah, but let's not read too much into it for now, right? I'm just saying this is something, to keep in the back of the head, right? But as it stands, right, it's just one of those stats that has always gone in that favor. It's like you said, CJ, right? That stats are stats at the end of the day, right? Just like records are meant to be broken, kind of thing, right? But it's a good indicator. Let's just call it that, right? But yeah, so for now, until like I'd say they're pretty much up there. And again, right, I think your performances as table leaders, right, has to show, right? You guys have to show that you're willing to increase the gap, right? And I think also how you guys mentioned it, right, that your performance has to be reflective of that, and that's gonna be key, I think, in my opinion, right? But till then, right, City, Liverpool, and again, you may not like it, but I think Tottenham. I think for me, I'm keeping an eye on that as well. Um,
Well,
you know,
shit, where you're sitting in the league, you definitely should be keeping an eye on that.
yeah, man, shit. Um, yeah,
Oh shit. Um, a team that's looking up at everyone, begging for their first win. Wolves, um, just piss poor. Uh, they gave up, they gave up at least a point. I was gonna say 3 points, but they gave up a point. Berlin stole it late. I mean, I'm not gonna even ask anything. 9 games in, they don't have a single win. They're on sitting on 2 points. They're getting relegated, right? Or am I being crazy for saying this too early?
I would predict that they're getting relegated. I think that means we would have to have changed our predictions at the beginning of the season. I don't know if any of us actually predicted Wolves.
I did.
Maybe I might have too actually,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's not looking good for them still.
Yeah. Um, Villa, they did their fans right, you know? They lost midweek and they go back and they beat City 1-0. They were able to stop the robot. Um, but outside of this, I'm not really worried about the Villa result. I'm more worried about City. I'm not worried about City, but just kind of questioning this, and this is for you, CJ. Warren, feel free to jump in. Um, After this game, City had Bournemouth at home and then Liverpool away before the international break. it, Things are starting to look tough for City. Like we've already gone through a very tough patch. The next tough patch is coming, but what do you expect for City in the next 2 games?
Me? You're asking? Uh, if I'm gonna predict their results, ooh, for some reason, I don't know about you guys. I, I can kind of see them dropping points against Bournemouth next week too, even though it's at home. I just have this
Hmm.
weird feeling. Bournemouth is a side not to be slept on. And again, I think they'll go for City as well a little bit. I feel like again, City has some defensive weaknesses at the moment, right? Some defensive deficiencies. Um, so it's tough to call. If I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, I can see maybe a win there, but then maybe a draw against Liverpool.
Hmm.
Like maybe they'll just scrape it past the Bournemouth. But that's a tough run. And did they have who do they have after Liverpool? Was it them that have
Newcastle.
Newcastle?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hmm.
After that, they got Newcastle away, Leverkusen, Leeds at home, Fulham away, Sunderland at home, Madrid away, Palace away, West Ham at home, Forest away, and then Sunderland away to end the year.
Yeah, so their immediate 2 games, man, Bournemouth and Liverpool, those are some tough fixtures next. Um, 3 to 4 points. 3 to 4 points. Actually, no, maybe I'm being harsh. I don't know. I don't see them winning both. I mean, I don't know. Someone save me here, Laurent. I don't know what you think, but I don't know if I see them winning both. I know those are both at home, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't see them beating both Bournemouth and Liverpool for some reason. What do you think, Laurent?
I agree. Those are two tough games. Um, yeah, two very tough games, and given the defensive woes that they're currently facing, I mean, no doubt, right? They can score. Haaland can show up, but I don't know if they can keep especially Liverpool, man. Like, right, those guys out of the net. And to me, I think it's gonna be a chaotic game, but yeah, more so leaning towards a draw, and then I can even see a Liverpool victory if I'm being completely honest. Um,
Mm.
on one end, right? But
Really?
and especially yeah, the Bournemouth game to me, I think is also that could be even more challenging than the Liverpool game for them, simply because Bournemouth do seem to be a lot more consistent in form, um, in comparison to Liverpool. Um, and yeah, and Semenyo, I think would have a lot to say
Yeah.
in that game as well.
Um, Speaking of Bournemouth, they ruined Sean Dyche's midweek victory in the Conference League, and they beat Forest 2-0 at the Vitality. Sitting in 18th place. I know we talked about it. Like, I'm sorry, we didn't talk about Forest. Do you guys think Sean Dyche can save Forest, or do you think they're going to get relegated? I know what we think from a personal point of view about Marinakis and his team, but do you guys think?
Bro, I hope they get relegated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't think they will. I think he'll keep them up.
Mm,
You don't think so? Oh
no.
yeah.
I think with the midweek games, I think it's gonna hurt them. I think as soon as they get out of that, they're gonna be too far gone. Like or they may be they may be one of the first teams to actually win a European trophy and get relegated. Two things can be true at once.
Oh, that's never been done?
I don't think so. I might be
Hmm.
wrong. I mean, there might have been a team that's done it, but I don't think so. Not a
Hmm.
team that we know.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Wigan Athletic. I don't know if you guys remember them. Throwback club in the Premier League.
Yeah.
They beat City in the FA Cup famously and got relegated in the same
Mm,
year, if I'm not mistaken.
mm,
Yeah, but I mean, in Nottingham's Forest case, man, this is a problem of their own doing.
mm.
At the end of the day, right? Finish in quite a comfortable position last year, and now suddenly, right, struggling relegation battle, right, early on still. But it's actually pretty sad when you think about it. You feel more so for the players, right?
And
I
the
suppose,
fans.
yeah, and the fans as well, right? Because all it takes is just one guy to just fuck it up. And that's exactly what that individual did for them, right? So on that note, you kind of hope for the best for them. But what, six losses, right, so far, one win, correct?
Yep. 1, 2, and 6.
And I believe that one win came from their previous manager, no?
Yes,
Not
it
from.
did.
So yeah, this guy has yet to win. I think he did win in another competition, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, midweek they won Conference League, Europa.
Right, right, right.
Europa Conference. Europa. They beat Porto 2-0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then right,
So,
the loss. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
And then we talked about it. Spurs beating Everton away from home 3-0. I mean, like we said, CJ and I aren't worried about with respect to the title race, but Laurent, I can see from your point of view where you're sitting at the table. I mean, I would definitely be worried about Spurs. Definitely be worried about Spurs, Sunderland, Bournemouth, Villa, you know,
United?
United, City, Liverpool. There's a lot of you know, a lot of things you're looking up at.
yeah, no, for real, man. Next starting to cramp up over here.
Oh fuck. EFL Cup preview. We'll go through it. We'll go through some of the less sought after games first. Brentford visit Grimsby Town. I don't expect anything but Brentford to win. Um, Fulham visit Wycombe. Again, I think they're a League One team. League One, or I think they're a League One team. Again, Fulham should win after the season they're having in the Prem City in 17th. Like Marco Silva needs to save his job somehow. Wrexham, they face Cardiff City. I actually hope Wrexham get through to the next round, and I would love to face Wrexham because they would be on the Wrexham TV show. So, you know, just shout out to Wrexham because they're just a good story. Swansea welcome Man City. We don't expect an upset here, do we?
No.
Okay. Um, I think this is the matchup of the round four. Liverpool welcome Palace. Palace beat them for the Community Shield and also beat them in the league a few weeks ago. Does Liverpool, get some revenge, or is it going to be another Palace victory? I know what I'm going to say, but actually don't answer that question because we're predicting this game. But do you guys agree that this is going to be one of the games of the weekend or the week?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Chelsea, again, don't predict this, but hey, Laurent, I'm looking at you, man. Is this a get right game?
If we lose this game, man,
If we lose this game, you are not allowed on the pod on Thursday because the things I will be saying to you,
yeah, no, there's no way.
I will. If you lose this game, I will buy you a Wolverhampton shirt
There's actually no way we lose this game,
and
bro.
I'll put DDA on the back.
Bro, there's no way we lose this game.
Oh, fuck.
Bro, I
Oh,
don't I don't I don't care if we get like two red cards, bro. Like there's just you know what I mean? Like there's no way. Like how, the fuck?
oh my God. Oh man, you better pray. You better pray that Chelsea doesn't do the unthinkable because you're getting a DDA Wolves jersey.
Hey man, listen, you guys better keep your eyes out on your opponents as well, eh?
No, that's what I was just gonna say, Murda. We might have to slow our roll a little bit. We have a banana skin game too.
Um, the holders, Newcastle welcome Spurs. Again, this is one of the big games of the weekend. Um, but like, do we expect anything but a Newcastle victory at St. James's? Like, I don't think Spurs can go in there and win. Surely not.
Mm,
I think it's gonna be a lot closer than you think it is.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's what we also said about the what was the game the other weekend?
Why you talking about Benfica Newcastle?
Yeah.
Bro, come on, man.
Who's a better manager, Jose or Thomas Frank? Oh,
I,
don't.
I
They
I
just
I don't even think managers is has that much of an impact in this. Because Spurs has a decent squad. If we're being completely honest, right? Like there are some high profile names you can say on that squad, right? So yeah, no. Uh, and like I said, man, it seems like they're playing some pretty interesting football, right? Maybe they're not getting the consistent results that right you guys are saying, but overall, right,
Hmm.
I wouldn't rule them out.
CJ, take it away. Give us a breakdown. Arsenal, Brighton.
Mm. Well, this one has come at an interesting time for us because we are now. It looks like we have a few fitness concerns going into this game. Now, some of these names wouldn't have been playing anyways, or shouldn't have been playing. Like, for example, I think this is a game you could look to rest a Declan Rice, Saliba, um, even David Raya and so on. Um, but before I counteract with a question to you both, I still think, again, we talk about so much about the squad that Arsenal has now, and that we need to use this squad to be able to go the distance in all fronts with no excuses. Therefore, some would say we shouldn't throw away any competitions, right? A lot of people would look at this competition, the League Cup, as the fourth choice out of four in the priority list of trophies to win. So you have the Premier League and the Champions League are the priorities one and two, whichever order is up to you. FA Cup third, League Cup fourth, right? So this is the bottom of the priority list. In years gone by, we've thrown this cup away because we've had bigger fish to fry, as they say, right? When we're trying to win the league or win the champs or whatever. But this year, because we have a deep enough squad, I don't think we should be in a position where we're throwing away any cups or any chances to win trophies. Because let's be honest, we and this manager hasn't won a trophy in 5 years. So are we even in a privileged enough position to say, oh, we'll just throw away this trophy because we're aiming for the others? Well, no, we have a big enough squad now. Um, so go for it. Give these players a taste of silverware because he hasn't won with this crop of players. So a lot of these guys, Saka's who've been there for a while, your Sakas and so on, they need to know what it feels like to lift a trophy. And managers such as Jose Mourinho in the past at Chelsea or Pep at City have not thrown away this competition. Right? In fact, they've used it as a springboard, and they've come out and said it. Pep has come out and said it. Use this trophy as a springboard to go on and win the bigger trophies later on in the season because this one you can win earlier than the others, right? The FA Cup, the League Cup final is typically in February, March.
Yeah.
So you win that, it could potentially be a springboard for you to go on and win the Premier League in May, or the FA Cup in May, or the Champions League in May, right? That's what Pep has typically used this trophy for in the past as a springboard to give them a taste of silverware, to give them the hunger to go on and continue to win throughout the rest of the season. Now, when you're a Pep, you're in that privileged position where you have a deep enough squad over the years, expensively built to rotate your side and go the distance. Because what happens is it's no coincidence that City has won this trophy so much in the last 10 years because they've had the squad to be able to rotate to go the distance on all fronts, whereas most other clubs didn't have that privileged position. I feel now we're in a pretty decent position where if we're being considered, the best squad in the league or even one of the best squads in Europe, then we should be able to rotate aside enough to compete in this competition for this round and try and win in this competition as well, to be fair. So I think we should go for it somewhat. I would have a mixed side, a mixed team for this. We are at home, so that helps. My lineup, I was looking at your lineup, interestingly enough, Merdad, but for me, my lineup would be Kepa in goal. I would put Ben White at right back because he needs crucial minutes. Mascara, and I see you have Gabriel in there. Now, I'm tempted to start Hincapié because he needs to get minutes from somewhere. He needs to get crucial minutes, and it needs to come from somewhere. And I think this would be a good game to start him. Question is, do you start him at center back or do you start him at left back? If you start him at left back, then MLS doesn't get to start, but you need MLS to get some minutes. So I think what I would do, I think you trust them enough. These aren't just squad fillers or young players, right? Wenger used to fill out League Cup teams with young players and academy players. We're talking about established players in the squad here, internationals, guys who've been there, done that, won it in other leagues, like Hincapié. He's not yes, he's new to the league technically, but he's an established player that is going to cost us almost 50 mil. So I throw him in there. Right? I throw him in there at center back alongside a Mascara, um, a Ben White at right back, and MLS at left back. Um, that's what I would do for my back four, and then rotate completely with Kepa in goal. Again, another experienced goalkeeper who started in a established Premier League side last season. So no problems there. I think you have to throw an Norgard in because we have to manage the minutes for Zubimendi, right? There's been a minutes load we've been talking about with him lately, and we've been trying to manage his minutes. So I think you got to rest him a bit. But Norgard, again, another experienced campaigner you can throw in there to start. And then Marino and Wanieri, I think, fills out the rest of the midfield because Declan Rice has some injury concerns. I would have rested him anyways from the start. And obviously Odegaard is out, and we are looking for more minutes for Ethan Wanieri. So I think I would do that to complete the midfield three. There is an argument to still start Eze just to give him some extra familiarity with the team, and boost his. Hopefully, you use this potentially as another performance booster. Because we haven't been totally convinced by his performances, and I know he scored today, but there is an argument to start him. But I think you just about could go with that midfield. I don't have a problem with that. Norgard, Marino, and Wanieri. And then your front three. Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot. You know what? I forgot about that. If you start Marino midfield, then that means you have to pretty much start Gyökeres up top. Because if you wanted to rest Gyökeres, the natural replacement at this moment without Havertz is probably Marino. Do you continue to play Gyökeres in this game, considering he's been playing a lot of minutes lately, 90 minutes for his club and country? Probably just even to get him a goal or two, but I maybe would take him off like at halftime or 60 minutes.
Yeah.
But maybe you have to start him because we don't have too many other options. I would, probably still start a Trossard, and I would have, if Saka has his fitness concerns, I would have started a Martinelli, Trossard, and Gyökeres front three. But if Martinelli is another fitness concern, then I don't know. Like, do you start a Dowman? I think it's a little bit too early to throw Dowman in from the start in this one. You maybe have him coming off the bench, but we're in a bit of predicament with that one because I don't know if I want Saka starting. The problem is I think the manager would start him if you don't have any other options. Like if Martinelli is out and Madueke is still out, I think he probably still would start Saka if Saka's okay. Um, so yeah, I mean the team. I almost agree with yours. So to run that back, it was Kepa in goal, White, Mascara. I had Hincapié center back in my what I would do. Miles Lewis Skelly left back, Norgard, Winieri, and Marino midfield three. So a completely rotated midfield three. And then up top you have Trossard. Yep, probably you're gonna have to start Gyökeres just because we don't have much options at the moment. And then yeah, Martinelli looks like he could be out if it is a muscular injury. You don't want to mess around with muscular injuries in a 3 day turnaround. So you probably have to start Saka to be honest with you. I guess if that's the calling, you probably start Saka. He was ill. I don't know if you saw that. The reporting was that he was ill this week, so it's not like he had any injuries or anything like that, and he didn't play 90 in this game. So maybe you could start him and again take him off eventually if need be. But now that I look at it, pretty spot on. I'm almost aligned with yours fully, except maybe Gabriella out and Hincapié in. Mostly because Gabriel was also another doubt going into this
Yeah.
Palace game, right? Like he had a little bit of a concern, so I don't want to run him into the ground either.
I actually
I
had
think
Papier in there to start, and then I put Gabrielle. I'm like, you can't put both of them out. Um,
I hear that. Yeah, you
yeah,
want one of the two in there, but
yeah. So we'll see. Um,
I think either way, we should win the game, right? And even with that rotated side, surely we should still think that's enough to win the game. Because what we've been saying, what most people tell me, and I agree with, is Arsenal squad is the strength of it is so much so now that a rotated side, like if you look at that fully rotated back four, that's still a back four that can compete most weeks in the Premier League at a good level.
yeah, I mean, it's
You know,
definitely better than Chelsea's back four. Of
Mhm.
had to get that in there, huh?
course, bro. Um, I know. I mean, I think I know what you're gonna predict. Laurent, what are you gonna predict for Arsenal Brighton?
Arsenal.
Wow. So are we going sweep?
That was a quick answer, actually. I'm surprised by that. Uh well, before that, what do you guys think Brighton is going to do? Murda, what do you think Brighton is going to do? Do you think they're going to rotate? They're coming off of a bad result against United. That one shocked me, to be
They're
honest
gonna
with you.
go. They're gonna go. I think they're gonna go. They can. They won't rotate their back line as much, but I think they're gonna have a rotated squad.
You think so? I think they have a couple injuries and things like that too, right? Like I
Yeah,
don't know
I
if
don't think they're
Matoma.
gonna live and die by this because if you look at their league standing, they're 13th place on 12 points. They
Mm,
need to push to get to like the top half of the table. I mean, they're gonna go for it, but I don't. I think they're gonna be stupid if they go strong. I mean,
mm.
either way, whatever they come at us with, we're talking. Like we should easily be able to put this away. We're at home. If we were, at their home ground, yeah, I would maybe say something differently, but we're at home. Whether it's controlled or not, like we gotta take care of business.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, regardless, I think you can put that down for a clean sweep because I think we'll win that just
Chelsea Wolves, can I put a clean sweep again?
for Wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
Oh shit. No, but seriously, Chelsea? Okay, I'm not gonna even ask about that. Um, Liverpool Palace, Mr.
Liverpool.
Piano.
Liverpool.
Oof.
Liverpool.
Oh,
And we're assuming we're making this based on the fact that draw is not an option, right? Because there's no replay of games. I think
yeah,
it'll go to a penalty shootout.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
Liverpool.
yeah. Liverpool. I think it might actually be a draw that goes to pound PKs.
Bro, hey, come on, man. We know you don't want to see Liverpool.
I know. Just say what you want to say, bro.
I don't want to say Liverpool, but
Yeah.
if I'm trying to be objective and trying to win this prediction series, yeah, I think it's going to be. I have more faith in Wolves beating Chelsea than I do Palace beating Liverpool. I'll
No,
put
you
it
don't.
that much.
Like genuinely, you think?
Genuinely, I think the same thing that I said that Sunderland is a banana peel game for us. I think this is a banana peel game for Chelsea because they're gonna go in thinking like, "Yo, we're gonna fuck them up, blah 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 blah," and then they're gonna get a sucker punch, and then it's all gonna fucking crumble.
Ah,
So then change your prediction.
yeah, word.
No, 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 no,
So we're all going Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool then.
Yeah, that's fucking boring. Like we're all on the same side of the fence here.
no, no, no. I mean, everyone picks up points and nothing changes, right?
Well, we're actually really locking this in.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I think we have to add in a fourth game then. The Spurs game.
You want to add a fourth game in?
Yeah, I want to add it. Yeah,
Wait,
I
hold
want
on,
to add.
hold on. But if we're gonna add this game in, is CJ gonna agree or is he gonna bring up a fuss?
No, he's right. He's right. Like, yeah, or either that or we remove the midweek games completely. Because fuck, we all agree. So it's like, what's the point?
Okay. Newcastle Spurs.
Spurs.
Oh,
Go on Newcastle.
yeah, no, no. Newcastle at home. I'm going Newcastle too, man.
Thanks for making it easy, Laurent.
Hey man.
We're just gonna get extra points. Thanks, bro. Appreciate
Imagine this backfires on him, bro. We just gain an extra point on
you. Oh shit.
him.
Yo, honestly,
I had to, bro. It's either I we all go Newcastle and nothing changes.
My man would say, wait, let's add a fifth game.
can I just make it even more interesting? Can we just take okay, if we're gonna do another prediction, can we just take out the Premier League teams and give some light to two teams that we have no idea what the fuck's gonna happen? Because this is boring. If we're gonna do a fourth game, I don't want it to be a Prem team. Let's do Wrexham.
Bro,
Nah,
what?
I agree. I stand on with Laurent on this one still. Let's say keep the Newcastle Spurs. There's nothing wrong with that.
Bro, you're boring, bro.
What's with your fucking affection with Wrexham?
Because Ryan Reynolds owns it. He's fucking Canadian. I'm trying to give him some spotlight, bro. Who knows? He might sponsor a podcast.
I think there's a better chance of Arnie Slot growing his hair back.
Hmm.
Hey, never say never. He's been
Honestly,
good to
bro.
be back.
Hmm? Yeah, I was gonna say, bro. I'm in no position to gamble here, so I'm. But at the same time, you guys be no, 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 no,
Oh shit. You want to just add another game?
Why is my dad dying, bro? I don't know if anyone didn't. I don't think anyone heard what you said.
I
You have
said
this very cheeky laugh, smile going on right now.
I said you guys want to add another game?
No, what did you say before that?
Wait, like a fifth game?
Yeah, like a fifth. Yeah, no, that's what I said.
To add a fifth game?
Bro, which game are you trying to add?
Wrexham Cardiff.
Oh, and then what? You're gonna pick Wrexham?
Of course.
Jeez. Hold on. I gotta, because I got no idea who these two teams.
Okay, yo, we don't have to fucking predict them then. We're not gonna do our homework on the pod right now. We're already 2 hours in.
All right. On that bombshell.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Wait, Championship is below the Premier League?
Yes. Yeah, I'll just make it easier for you. It's gonna take you forever.
Was that a serious
Wrexham,
question, bro?
Wrexham.
And then
What?
football. Oh, okay, okay.
Fam, did you think the
Wait,
championship was above the Premier League?
So
no, below.
Of course it's below, yeah.
so Cardiff
No,
are
no, no, like directly below because there's another league here, and that's the third tier, I assume,
Yeah,
that
championship,
Cardiff is
then
in.
League One, then League Two.
Okay, okay. All right. Yeah, yeah, I'm not predicting that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's some trap, bro. This guy. Yeah,
Oh shit. All right.
yeah. No, that was a trap and a half, man.
Yo,
On
Nice.
that bombshell, see you guys on Thursday or Friday, I guess. Adios.
Yeah, word.